Good evening. May we please ask you to take your seats and listen to the following safety announcement. There are no planned fire drills tonight, so if the fire alarm sounds, it will be real. In the event of the fire alarm sounding, please follow your nearest green fire exit sign and assemble under Waterloo Bridge. IET staff will be on hand to lead the way. Could we please ask you turn any devices to silent? Everyone, the 2025 Young Woman Engineer of the Year Awards are about to begin. Welcome your hosts for this evening, Amma Fringpong and Sophie Harker.
Hello everyone, I nearly had a Cinderella moment and got my shoe stuck then, so apologies that took a bit longer. Hello everyone and welcome to the IET's Young Woman Engineer of the Year Awards 2025.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's such a pleasure to have you as we celebrate these incredible women. Their achievements are truly outstanding and we are so proud of them all. Thank you so much.
Tonight is all about shining a spotlight on the amazing women who are helping to engineer a better world.
We'll be hearing from these incredible finalists, and trust us, you are going to be so inspired about the innovative and impactful work that they're doing.
Plus, we'll be catching up with last year's Young Woman Engineer of the Year, the brilliant Marissa Karumbukas, to find out what she's been up to since winning the award. So, as you may have seen, Amma and I are both previous winners of YWE a while ago now. So 2018 I won, and 2022. Yes, so we're veterans of this event now, but we have really enjoyed our time as this. And this event, and I say this a lot, it sounds a bit dramatic, but it really did change my life. I went from being very much just an engineer doing what they're doing to suddenly being an engineer that had a voice in the world, and it feels that way. It's a big change, I warn you now. You've got a big year coming, all of you. But it really did, and it gave me that kind of confidence to go, actually, I can do this, and I can be inspiring if I want. Yeah, what about you? How did you enjoy it?
I mean, same story. You know, it's very impactful personally, but also to the people around you and the people that you are actively wanting to help. And as we all know, there aren't enough of us, women in engineering, and that stage that it gives us allows other people who look like us, who feel like us, to suddenly think and believe that they can do this. If we can do it, they can do it too.
For sure, for sure.
If you want to share the fun online, we're going to be using Insta and LinkedIn today, using the hashtag #TheIET. So please get posting and hashtagging.
Yes, because we cannot wait to see your photos and your posts and all the celebrations throughout the night. I do love a good champagne toast photo.
Before we get started, we'd like to pay tribute to the women, Elizabeth Kibble. In 1978, Elizabeth was named the IET's first ever Girl Technician of the Year, an award known today as the Young Woman Engineer of the Year, which we're all here for today. She was born in Hungary in 1953. Her exceptional skills in STEM showed up early. At just 14, her aptitude in maths and physics awarded her a place at the Telecommunications Technical College in Budapest.
She continued her studies in the UK, where she had to re-qualify, passing her ONC and HNC in electrical and electronic, forget the words out, engineering, with distinction. She then started studying for a BSc degree in applied computing at the Polytechnic of Central London. Her incredible career included working for Ericsson, where she was responsible for the commissioning of the first ever computerized telephone exchange in the UK. We were very sad to hear of her passing this year and are grateful to her family providing an insight into her incredible life so we could share this with you and honour her tonight.
What an incredible and remarkable woman that we will be greatly missing. She paved the way for all of us to be able to continue to celebrate the equally remarkable trailblazers here tonight. And so let's move into our very first award of the evening.
Yes, so now we would like to welcome IET President Dawn Olsen to the stage to present the first award of the evening, the Gender Diversity Ambassador Award.
Thank you, everyone. It's my pleasure to be here, and it is an absolute honour to present such a special award. This award is a lifetime achievement honour that recognises a true role model who has championed gender diversity over many years. This year's winner has worked tirelessly to break down barriers and to create environments where women in engineering can thrive. They've been instrumental in developing policies and strategies that not only attract women into engineering, but help them stay and succeed in the profession. This award and individual perfectly captures the spirit of why we're all here tonight. So, let's take a moment to learn a little bit more about our winner.
Vince is an incredible mentor. He's so generous with his time, his energy. He's always offering helpful ideas with a smile and so much positivity. I love his proactive approach.
It's very difficult to summarize what Vince does as an ally to women in STEM, simply because he does so much.
We've spoken at global conferences together where, he's shared his passion for mentoring. And I think to date he's mentored over 1,000 women.
He's one of the biggest advocates and allies I've ever met.
He makes time, and I think that's the biggest thing that he offers to all the mentees.
He's always available, always open to meeting people and always there to help.
Every day you read about it, he helps like about 10 or 20 people a day. And sometimes I think oh my goodness, how do you have the time?
I'm proud to call him a mentor, a friend, a coach, someone that I really look up to. And I think many people would say the same thing.
Beyond his countless hours of mentoring, Vince does so much to champion women and diversity in STEM. It's amazing. He does so much board work, conferences, panels, so much advocacy work. He's a demonstration of a true ally for women in STEM.
Vince, huge congratulations. This is very, very deserved. And you probably don't realise, but you've had such a massive impact on my career.
Vince, you have done it again. And I know you're probably sitting there thinking, I'm so embarrassed, but he deserves this award so much. And Vince, I want to say thank you on behalf of 1,000 people that you have mentored over the years.
The world needs more human beings like him that are changing people's hearts and minds and showing up and showing the kindness and empathy.
Everyone should be like Vince. So #be like Vince.
So that's quite hard to follow, but it is my absolute pleasure to announce that the Gender Diversity Ambassador Award goes to Vince Bizzoni. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Wow, that's heavy.
It is quite heavy.
It's heavy.
Actually, should we? Yes, of course. Well, I think there's a little posing moment first.
Well,
there we go. That way around. Yeah, let's. Lovely. Should I hold it for a minute and then you could? Would you like to say a few words?
Okay, I'll say a few words. Well, it's very rare I get lost for words, but anyway, I'll try and say a few words now. I was actually at an event last week, and it was a book launch about resilient voices. And it was all about the voices of women, and it's interesting that was mentioned at the beginning. So, what do? All I do, I hope, is I give women a voice. through my mentoring. But you know what? The magic comes when they mentor me. So every single person that I'm privileged to mentor mentors me as well. And I see that as a privilege. I can learn as much from them as I hope I'm imparting to them as well. So maybe I should just mention a few people who've been important in my life. My first role model was my mother. And the thing she taught me very early on was that everyone was special. So I hope when I work with people, I treat you as being special, because that's what you are. You're special. Second person, who happens to be with me tonight, is my wife. She puts up with my idiosyncrasies, and I have a lot of them, I know. But she offers a lot of wise counsel, and that's something that I've needed in my career, and particularly as we spent most of our career apart. But such is a corporate career, of course. So thank you for that. And I'd also perhaps like to thank all the women that I do work with and support, and that support me as well. I'd also like to congratulate the young engineers tonight. I work a lot with young engineers, and it's such a pleasure seeing you coming forward and having the opportunity to win. In fact, you're all winners tonight. And in fact, there's a lot of people who didn't even make tonight who are winners as well. So you're doing a fantastic job. You're moving the industry forward. And I hope you stay in it. And I will do everything I can to support you in your career going forward. Thank you very much.
I get to present it to you again.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Dawn. And I'm sure everyone here tonight will agree, a very deserving winner. So thank you for all that you do, and a huge congratulations, Vince. We are now moving on to a very exciting and new part of tonight, because we now get to hear from our 5 finalists for the YWE Awards.
Yes, we do, Sophie. We really want to hear from you, and I cannot wait to find out more about them. So please, everyone, help us welcome the YWE 2025 finalist.
Thanks, guys. Hi, welcome to the stage, and congratulations on being finalists. I hope you guys are super proud of getting to this point, because it really is a massive achievement. So many people apply, so well done. To start off this session, we want to get to know you guys, but we also want to know what you do. So, Amy, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Amy Dillon. I am a civil engineer. I am from Sunderland, but I work just outside of Belfast in Northern Ireland for a company called Design ID, and I work on bridges and roads and other civil engineering things.
You keep us going. What about yourself, Jennifer?
Hi, I'm Jenny, and I'm a senior systems engineer at SSTL, or Surrey Satellite Technology. I'm a technical lead as well, so my job involves designing and building satellites, which sounds very cool and is very technically complex and takes a long time. But my favourite description of my job as a systems engineer has to be from one of my old bosses, who always used to describe it as weaponised common sense. And I'm going to go with that as my description of my job, I think.
I like that. As a systems engineer in space, I agree. What about yourself, Rachel?
Hi, everyone. I'm Rachel Donaghy. I'm a service introduction manager at NATS, who are the UK's air traffic control provider. And basically my role is to help bring new systems or equipment in and out of service safely, while also maintaining contingency, keeping everyone on their holidays, and making sure nobody's upset with us.
That's a big task.
It is.
I'm glad it's you. and our second Rachel, what about you?
Hi everyone, my name's Rachel as well. I'm a senior chartered civil engineer working for the global consultancy WSP. I spend most of my time now project managing multidisciplinary projects project, which is lots of fun. It comes with its challenges, but again, super rewarding, kind of delivering infrastructure that's making quite a big positive difference.
It sounds it. It sounds like you're making a big difference, and I'm sure we will hear lots about that too. And last but not least, Nicola.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Nicola, and I'm a senior software engineer at Kainos. I joined in software engineering through Kainos' Earn as You Learn apprenticeship scheme, and I've been working on projects on the HM Passport Office. So yeah, really, really intense, but a really fun environment to work in, and I've really, really loved it so far.
Oh, amazing. So you're really getting into the nitty-gritty of our government. Have fun. So now we know what you do now. Let's go right back to how you got to where you are now in terms of, was there a moment or a person or an experience you had that made you go, this is what I want to do in my life? Go ahead, Amy.
Me first again.
You again, you're on my side, I'm sorry.
So civil engineering wasn't really on my radar when I was younger. I didn't really know what it was. I'd actually applied to university to do biology. And when I was 17, I went to a country called Lesotho, travelled abroad, and it's very, very high altitude. So during the day, it's close to the sun, it gets very hot, and during the night, because it's at high altitude, it gets very, very cold. I saw that people were living in houses that were made out of corrugated iron, which doesn't have any insulation properties, so therefore during the day it got very, very hot, and during the night it got very, very cold. So I kind of was thinking there must be a better way of doing this. I came home, I researched a little bit, and kind of came across this career that looked at build materials and looked at houses and looked at changing people's lives, and I was like, okay, I could do that, that sounds great. So applied to university to do that, and just found this career that was out there literally existing to make people's lives better, which was exactly what I wanted to do, and I've been doing it ever since.
Oh, well, that's the start of our inspiration this evening. Jenny, you go next.
The simple answer to the question is no, not really. I don't think there was 1 minute that made me go, oh, this is definitely the career for me, this is what I want to do forever. I always loved science growing up, but I also loved English literature and art, and I almost went to do law at university, which is even further away than biology. But I think I always came back to my love for space. Ever since I was little, I was really interested in space, in how much there is left for us to discover about the universe. And when I was young, I was lucky enough to get to go to Space Camp Turkey. I got to try astronaut simulators, I got to meet astronauts, but I also got to see the breadth of roles that went into making a space mission happen. And so I kind of followed that into engineering, and that's where I ended up.
Yeah, I did Space School UK, so we should talk. Rachel, how about you?
I think similar to Jenny, there wasn't that light bulb moment for me. There was more a small series of realizations throughout my career, and during my time as an apprentice, I realized that engineering wasn't all about maths and physics and textbooks, but there was more to it. It was about problem solving. And in my day-to-day role, the work that I was doing was actively contributing to keeping the skies above the UK safe. Knowing that I could be part of something much bigger than myself is what made me think that, this is where I belong.
Yeah, definitely. And what about you?
Yeah, again, similar. It probably wasn't when I first discovered engineering, but more when I started getting involved in the industry. So I was able to do some work experience at Crossrail Farringdon Station, as well as during my degree doing university placements, which I found really beneficial, kind of seeing how what you're studying is actually contributing to society. So I was lucky enough to build a hospital in South Wales called the Grange University Hospital, then opens now and is treating 600,000 people, and it's amazing to think, wow, look at what we're contributing that's making a difference to so many people's lives. So I think it was more seeing how what I was learning I could put into practice and make such a difference to a lot of people's lives was really when I realised, yeah, this is 100% what I want to do for the rest of my career.
Yeah, legacy already. Impressive. And last but not least, Nicola.
Yeah, so I'm slightly different. I always knew I wanted to be an engineer. I absolutely loved physics and maths, but I actually thought I'd go into aerospace engineering because, like Jenny, I love space. But my exact path became clear through a personal experience. So my aunt is completely blind, and I'm very close to her, always have been. And we looked into technologies that would help her navigate the world more independently. So things like smart glasses, AI-powered canes. And while these products were helpful, none by themselves solved all of her challenges. So that's when it hit me. I wanted to be a software engineer, that I could build technology that empowered people, making the world more accessible. And I realized I didn't just want to work in engineering. I wanted to build solutions that genuinely improve people's lives. And I think it was that moment that connected my love for problem solving with that real human impact. And yeah, I knew that this was like a field that I can make a difference in.
Yeah. Told you we'd be inspired tonight.
It's such great stories of all of you, and it's interesting that out of the 5, 4 of you didn't know about engineering or sort of figured your way out as you got into it. And so the question that I want to understand from all of you, and even for you, you had a personal experience that showed you where you wanted to go. What do you think the biggest difference in helping women see themselves in this field is? Because maybe it was a representation. What was it that you think you could have benefited from, but what we could do for future young women? Nicola, maybe we start with you.
Yeah, we start with me, that's fine. So I think the main difference is visibility. When young women see other women thriving in engineering, whether that be maybe in leadership roles, seeing them do an innovative project, or even just simply like by hearing their story like we've done tonight.
Like tonight.
Exactly. I think it makes the field feel attainable. Yeah. And that also with gender doesn't define ability. I also think pairing that with like mentoring and encouragement, and that gives young women the confidence to, ask questions and try new things, or even like pursue those opportunities that they wouldn't have considered before.
Yeah.
I also think it's really, really important for young women for us to create a safe space that they feel comfortable, making mistakes and also learning from those mistakes. Because what I find in engineering is that it's like experimenting, it's iterating, and all problem solving. So no one knows the answer straight away. You're constantly learning, which I absolutely love. But yeah, I think the main point is that when women see that they belong in a field, and that's when their potential truly becomes limitless. That's when they can make a difference.
Amazing. Yeah, agreed. And I think that's why nights like tonight are so important in the engineering calendar, to showcase amazing people like you, but so that the next generation can see you and hear your stories, find that affinity to you so that they can carve their own ways. So Rachel, what about you? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, personally for me, if it wasn't for engineers that came into my own school at the time and ran a Pass the Bridge competition of all things, I probably still wouldn't know what engineering is, let alone be the kind of civil engineer I am today. So, I think that's a massive thing. And as we touched on, we all have a duty, not just us on this stage, everyone in this room, everyone in this entire industry it doesn't take much to go into a school, to mentor, especially in this new world, post-COVID, where we can do a lot of this volunteering virtually as well and reach so many more people and just really plant that seed. I think that's sometimes all it takes. And there's such a massive ripple effect as well I've seen with volunteering. It's so lovely to see people perhaps you've helped along, now helping others, and them helping others, and knowing you've perhaps just started, with being the one to hit that first domino is really rewarding.
It's a legacy, isn't it?
Exactly that. Yeah. Spot on.
Amazing. Thanks. Rachel, what about you?
Do you mind repeating the question? I think we move on to a different one.
Yeah, no worries. So I'm trying to understand what you think the biggest difference in helping women see themselves in this field. So we're all women engineers. What is it that makes the biggest difference so that people can see us?
Yeah, I think for me, it's seeing people represented in the people that you're working with. So for myself, I've got dyslexia. I've never worked with another engineer that has dyslexia. So for me to be that person that can stand on the stage, that can say, don't be afraid of your differences. Your differences really are your strengths. Yeah. And the things that you bring to the table are valued, and engineering really needs diverse minds. We need people who can approach problems from unique angles. And so your differences really are your strengths.
Indeed.
Keep going, work hard. There's always a seat at the table for you when we're ready for you.
Absolutely. I mean that perspective, right? Like it's we very recently were talking about people creating innovations that only fit certain people. If there were enough people around the table and all of those other things that you've just mentioned, that makes innovation more stronger and more equitable, right? So thank you. What about you?
Yeah, I think it's a really difficult question because no two women are alike, right? Yeah. And the challenges that one person faces may not be the challenges that everyone faces. And so it's hard to kind of come up with these ideas of what would make one person come into engineering or come into STEM. But I will say from what I've noticed, there's 3 main things, I think, that help encourage girls and women to come into STEM. The first is having early exposure and opportunities. So understanding what engineering is, whether that's through building bridges, whether that's through doing software design competitions or robotics. Giving people hands-on experience to learn about engineering is really important. The second, and I think we've mentioned it a few times, I always think it's a bit of a cliche, but I do think that cliche exists for a reason, is that having someone who looks like you or who feels that you can follow in the shoes of helps you imagine yourself in that role. And seeing them thriving and happy makes it easier for you to imagine a career yourself in that role. And finally, I think it's really important that we don't just talk about getting girls into engineering, but it's about keeping women in engineering. It's not just about getting their foot in the door, it's about helping them build a career. And I think a big part of that is building a culture that welcomes them and is open to their ideas and open to developing them as they go forward.
Thank you. Amy.
So I think just to summarise what everybody said, it's about visibility, it's about evenings like tonight, it's about putting yourself under spotlight and putting yourself forward in a terrifying position. Like, what motivates me is that I want people from Sunderland, I want young girls, and I want people who wouldn't necessarily see themselves in engineering to look at all of us and how excited and how happy we are to have a chance to talk about what we do. Or people that think that engineering is boring. A lot of people don't know what we do, so I really want them to look at us and see the joy that we have, and great events like this, which we'll get to get dressed up. Engineers are in high visors and hats. That's really, really important as well. The project that I have, The Big Bridge, is very much about students and young people working with engineers. We did a fantastic event last week where I had 10 local engineers went back to the primary school that they came from and worked with every single kid in the school. And that is just exactly what it's about. If people can give back and people love what they do, that will come through when you're working with kids. And I think that is the biggest difference and the biggest thing that we can do.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ugh, I just want to keep listening. Can you? But I have actual individual questions now, so you're going under the spotlight now. And Amy, you're going to keep talking. I'm sorry. So you're going first. So you've reached literally thousands of young people through your outreach, which is insane. Like thousands is a strange, crazy number. What drives you to give so much time to volunteering?
It really is just good looking back to the younger Amy who. Very early on in my career, I didn't know if I wanted to continue with being civil engineering. So I never want somebody to have to go through that. I want somebody to look at people who have joy in what they're doing and have the chance to speak to people who are doing it, and to see that there's role models, there's people like them out doing that. I absolutely love it. I love organising, so organising brilliant, suits me really well, but working with the kids. I spoke to people in London last week, and again, the questions that they came up with at the end were really tricky because I hadn't ever thought they were going to ask me questions like that, but just the way that the young people's minds work and the excitement and the things they come up with to ask us is just brilliant. And every time I do it, I get re-inspired again to keep doing what I'm doing. I love civil engineering, and it just keeps me, keeps the passion alive.
Yeah. Oh, I get to aliens exist all the time.
100%. It's definitely one of those things that once you've gone and spoken to a school, it's very addicting because you're like, oh, I am quite cool.
It is just kind of taking the spotlight onto civil engineers as well, because it's not a well-known career, it's not a glamorous career, people think, so it's really a great challenge to challenge those stereotypes is really important.
And I think you definitely do that. I think you show for sure that engineering is very accessible to everyone from everywhere. And Rachel, you've also reached thousands. What drives you to give so much time?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it actually all started with me growing up in Jersey in the Channel Islands. There wasn't a massive amount of kind of big engineering. It wasn't really a career choice. It wasn't something that was on the horizon. It was the Pasta Bridge for me. And I remember going to the Arkwright Engineering Scholarship. Some of you might have heard of it. It's a fantastic scheme, and it really helped me to learn more about the industry. But I remember going to my interview, and I was the only female there. I turned up with my piece of jewellery, believe it or not, that was what we made, a DT GCSE, and I was trying to explain to them how it compared to a bridge, and I somehow got the scholarship. I have no idea, because I said, it's all in the finer detail. And I remember coming back, and a teacher said to me, well, what are you going to do? What will you do? And I actually ended up running, I was still at school, but I ran a competition for students, females, across the island, and then that went quite well. So then I ended up taking it global, and I was still at school, and that was kind of my first. I just wanted to allow others the opportunity that I'd had, because I was like, well, why aren't there more of us here? So I ran a global female engineering competition called Building the Future, Shaping Our World. And then, just one thing kind of led to another. And I remember doing a radio interview at the time, and the interviewer said to me, well, why are you not opening this up to boys? You'd have loads of entries if you opened it up to boys. And I was like, this is exactly why we're doing this competition.
This is the point.
Exactly. That was the start of then coming to the UK, becoming an ICE STEM ambassador, and through various different mediums, I suppose, in different ways, just again, trying to give back. And as Amy rightly said, it's trying to give those people who perhaps haven't considered engineering. Again, if it wasn't for those who'd done it to me, I definitely wouldn't be sat here today. So it's just to give them an opportunity to do the same.
Yeah, do you know what? It's really lovely to hear the side from being I was going to say victim then, I didn't mean victim, the recipient of STEM Outreach, to then be here and go, this is where I got to, and now I get to pay it forward, which is an amazing thing.
Exactly, definitely, spot on.
Amazing. So Rachel D, just a question. So, I mean, we've reflected quite a lot on, how we're helping other people and young people to come into engineering. If you were talking to your younger self, what would you say to her?
I would say back to my younger self, don't be afraid if there's no one like you in the scenario that you're looking to go into. You can be the first. You can make that path. You can lead the way for other people. Your differences really are your strengths. Dyslexia allows me to think creatively, to solve problems, to spot patterns that other people might miss. And I can approach problems from unique angles that sometimes my colleagues just don't see. And so I would say back to myself, don't let that stop you. Just because you don't see someone who looks like you, who thinks like you, that's not a reason why you can't also belong in that space.
Incredible. Yeah, indeed. And that what makes your solutions more diverse and all that different perspectives. Thank you so much. It's lovely to have you all on stage. I'm so inspired.
Yeah. I think we might have some more individual questions. Have you got some more individual questions? Because I've run out. So, have you run out? You've got two.
I have run out.
So,
I think one word.
We don't have any more individual questions. As can you tell, this is the bit we haven't rehearsed. I don't know if you can tell. So we're going to end on a quick fire one-word question. So this is just in one word. How would you describe the future of engineering? Nicola, do you want to go first?
I would love to.
Surprise, I know.
The word I would use is unstoppable. And this is me coming from like a digital perspective. I can see the world transforming digitally, like everything is online. And I think this is so powerful, and it's so good as well that the world is literally going digital too, because we can all communicate together and work with people from all over the world. So unstoppable.
Unstoppable. I like that.
Yeah. I'm going to be cheeky and take two words, which is, I apologise, but I'm going to say more diverse. I really hope that we do become a more diverse industry. Essentially, we're going to need to be able to overcome the current skills shortage, which I'm sure many in the room are aware of, but also to deliver infrastructure projects, or projects more generally across all the disciplines that are really representative of kind of all of society at the end of the day. So, two words, apologies.
I'll allow it.
In a similar vein, I would say inclusive. I think, like Jenny said, we have a lot of women who, although they get into engineering, they tend to leave it a lot earlier than men do. And so I think if we're creating inclusive workplaces that not only support women getting into engineering to begin with, but also to stay in the later years of their life is really important.
I'm going to say challenging. The rate of the advancement of technology at the moment is the greatest we've ever seen, and I don't think that's going to change. So engineers are constantly having to adapt, to learn, to find best ways forward. And I think that's a real challenge that we face kind of coming into the industry. But I also think engineers are uniquely placed to challenge. How are we doing things sustainably? Are we doing things safely? Are we doing things efficiently? And I think engineering is a really interesting and useful discipline to start kind of challenging the status quo in the way we're doing things currently.
Really like that.
Like the wordplay.
I told you I liked English, so.
I think exciting. I think look at the challenges, look at the future, look what's ahead, look at the talent that is just on this stage, and elsewhere in the industry of people who are rising to meet the challenges that are having. So exciting as to what is possible and what the future is.
Oh, that's a nice, hopeful ending. I enjoyed that. I
love that.
Yeah. And I think that's it for our panelists. So I'll thank you very
so
much.
much.
And
Thank you for
take your seats.
Are you leaving them? Taking them?
Yeah. You may have been able to tell I lost the auto cue at that point. But now, before we find out who this year's winners are...
yes, indeed, the moment everyone's waiting for. But before that, let's take a little trip back to last year.
Because we've got someone very special joining us, last year's Young Woman Engineer of the Year.
She is incredible, a chartered engineer with over a decade of experience in product design and systems engineering across automotive and power electronics. I think the way to say it is basically she makes really cool stuff work really, really well.
And I'm very grateful she does. So she's led multidisciplinary teams, overseeing everything from R&D to design, testing and prototyping, you name it, she's done the whole life cycle.
And that's not enough, though. She's super, super passionate about supporting engineers at all levels and championing STEM wherever she goes.
In fact, she was named one of the top 50 women in engineering, inventors and innovators, back in 2022 for her work in net zero and green tech.
I think we want to meet her.
I would like to.
Let's give a huge round of applause as we welcome the 2024 Young Women Engineer of the Year, Marissa.
Enjoy!
Thank you, everybody. Some people say that life is a roller coaster. It's full of ups and downs. I think people who say that don't like roller coasters, because when I say that this year has been a roller coaster, what I mean is it has been so much fun. There have been some real highs, some nerve-wracking moments, and all in all, it's just shot by way too quickly. I've had some experiences I never thought I'd have, and opportunities that I'm really going to treasure. I've met some incredible people on my journey this year. So today I'd like to share some of the highlights from my year with you. Earlier this year, I was invited to host the IET's annual dinner. It was a wonderful evening, a celebration of everything that the IET have achieved over the year, its staff and its members. I was on stage next to the keynote speaker, Martin Bayfield, who is an ex-England's rugby player and also the body double for Hagrid in the Harry Potter films. I thought it was a joke when they said that he was going to be on stage with me, and yes, I am standing up in that photo. I had the opportunity to contribute to national newspaper articles and also speak on national and local radio stations. I spoke about my journey, my career, my work, and it was a wonderful opportunity to debunk some myths about engineering, the industry, and what it meant to be a woman in the industry. As you know, I'm hugely evangelical and passionate about STEM, and this was an amazing opportunity to share that passion with people in a far wider reaching way than I ever thought I'd ever get the chance to. Some other highlights for me was being invited to the University of Birmingham to be the keynote speaker at an event called Equal in STEM. Here I spoke to the students about the importance of inclusivity and diversity in engineering, but possibly even more importantly, about creating safe and open spaces for them so that people could feel confident and comfortable contributing their ideas, their thoughts, their knowledge, and their viewpoints. And that is how we drive creativity and how we drive innovation. I was also hugely honoured to be a guest on a number of podcasts. One of my favourites was the Design for Life podcast, hosted by the Design and Technology Association. This is an organisation I've been supporting for a number of years now throughout my career, because I believe that design and technology is one of the first touch points that a lot of students have with engineering. The chance to get out of the classroom, the chance to get their hands dirty and to make something and create. And in this podcast, I had the pleasure of speaking about my journey and how my early education and the decisions and key moments in my life shaped the current career that I have at the moment. At the end of last year, I made a promise. I promised to keep in touch with the other amazing finalists I sat next to. And trust me, these are incredibly inspirational women. I'm really proud to say I have managed to keep that promise, and we've stayed in touch because it's a huge honour to just be associated with these women, honestly. Alexia Williams, the winner of the Mary George Memorial Prize in 2024, invited me to take part in the Ingenuity 365 Faces of STEM, which is a wonderful campaign to show women and their advocates in the industry, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Erin Lowe and I celebrated at the Manufacturer Top 100, where Erin, who was a highly commended apprentice, won an exemplar award, which meant she was in the top 20 of those 100 for her work in manufacturing. Dr. Salma Al-Arafi invited me to be a panelist on an online symposium that she was hosting to celebrate International Women in Engineering Day. And we spoke about the gap between academia and industry and how there were differences, how there are similarities, and how we can better support people going from being students at university all the way through to being graduates and engineers in the industry. And last but not least, the absolutely brilliant Natalie Parker, winner of the WES Award in 2024, invited me to speak to a STEM group that she runs at Sellafield, where I spoke to developing engineers there about my career, but also offering them advice about breaking through some of those stereotypes and furthering their career and offering help. Truly amazing women, and it's such a pleasure. And I'm so proud to be associated with them and see them excelling and continuing their success in their own individual fields. And it's wonderful that I had an opportunity to contribute to that common goal that we all have of supporting and encouraging women in engineering. As I reflect on this year, I think of all the wonderful experiences and all the positives I've had, but I also have to recognise the negatives I've had this year too. Whenever I posted on LinkedIn or social media, yes, we've heard the term trolls before, people would often criticise. And the number one criticism I had, the number one question I had, was why do we need the Young Woman Engineer of the Year awards? It's self-indulgent, it's unnecessary, it's irrelevant. So today, I would like to address those critics directly. Imagine you're a young engineer. You've been working on a project for many months, and today is the day that you get to present it to your customer. The customer's early, your manager's running late, so you invite them in, and you politely offer them a drink. Your male colleague makes a joke about not knowing how the coffee machine works, so you go ahead and you're the one making the drinks. While you're doing that, your manager comes out of their meeting, welcomes them in, and introduces everybody, which means that you don't get a chance to introduce yourself properly. By the time you've finished with the teas and the coffees and you've sat down, it's your turn to present. The customers are already on the back foot, wondering why the girl that made the tea is now presenting such an important proposal to them. Your manager spends the rest of the meeting trying to add weight to your argument, backing up your points and your decisions. The meeting obviously overruns into lunchtime, and you're very politely asked if you wouldn't mind organising the sandwiches. So while you're trying to work out who's vegetarian and who's gluten-free, the meeting carries on without you. And for a project that you've been working on for so long, by the time you sit back down, your male colleague is now correcting your mistakes because you've missed things. When it comes to performance reviews, when it comes to appraisals, who do you think the manager is going to be promoting? They tell you that you are invaluable in the team. They say, grab every opportunity that comes your way. But what they don't tell you is that those opportunities are the chance to organise a summer barbecue or the office Secret Santa, while your male colleagues are getting real and meaningful opportunities to advance themselves and their careers. So why do we need the Young Woman Engineer of the Year Awards? Because we are here today to celebrate women in the industry everywhere and the wonderful work and contributions that they are making. And in particular, we have 5 amazing examples sat here in front of us. Engineers who have achieved so much in their short careers so far, far more than other engineers have, in spite of outdated traditions, outdated stereotypes, unconscious bias, and sadly at times, outright discrimination against their genders. So, I think that being a woman in engineering isn't being a pioneer. It isn't groundbreaking. We are engineers. We are creative, we are innovative, we are ambitious, we are feminine, and we are bloody brilliant. And I think that in itself is worth celebrating. I'd like to end on one of my favourite quotes, often attributed to Newton. If I've seen further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. Today, we have seen a giant already, the winner of our Gender Diversity Ambassador Award. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank my own giants, the giants who have been there for me this year. I wholeheartedly apologise. There are too many of you to include on my slides and to thank individually, but honestly, ever since being shortlisted to interview for the Young Woman Engineer Awards right to the present moment, you have made me feel like an absolute rock star. Thank you so much. I sometimes joke with my friends, you do know I'm an engineering celebrity now. I want to say thank you so much for your support, your kindness, and your friendship this year. Equally, it makes me think, why can't everyone feel that good all the time? So, instead of asking, why do we need these awards, please can I implore you to start asking, what? What can I do to support diversity in the industry? What can I do to be that giant for someone or for other people? Because yes, life is a roller coaster. It is full of ups and downs. Life is a roller coaster, and there are some people who are really nervous to be on that ride. So let's be the giants. Let's lift people up when they're down, and let's celebrate them when they're up. Because life is a roller coaster, and we should all be having some fun.
Thank you so much, Marissa. What an incredible year you have had.
I think we can all absolutely agree she is an exceptional winner who's continued to give so much back to the profession through her year as Young Woman Engineer of the Year.
And speaking of exceptional, how about our fantastic finalists this year? What a truly inspiring group.
Indeed, the talent, the innovation, the passion, it's been incredible to see.
But before we start revealing who's taking home the awards tonight, we'd like to take a moment to thank our judging panel.
Well, you've seen and heard some of these, the finalists. They had an incredibly tough job. As we saw earlier, the application standards were incredibly high this year.
Yeah, every single year it gets harder and harder to choose. So I'm very grateful I was back in 2018 and this was no exception. So a huge thank you to our judges for all their time, thought and dedication they put into making these difficult decisions.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this is one of the moments we've been waiting for. It's time to find out who our 2025 winners are. And we're going to be kicking off with the Mary George Prize Memorial, the Memorial Prize for Apprentices.
This award was first inaugurated in 1985 and recognises an outstanding woman an outstanding woman engineering apprentice who's made a real impact in her workplace and who's passionate about inspiring others.
Yeah, such a fantastic way to start the celebrations. Let's see who's taking home the second award of the night.
Thank you. Did I pass that along? There we go.
Shall help you.
Thank you. Do you know what? I'm weirdly nervous about this, I'm not going to lie. So, I am delighted to announce that the 2025 Mary George Memorial Prize for Apprentices goes to Rachel Dongahay.
I'm done. I'm through.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Welcome. I'm sneaking in. Come. Thank you.
Well done. Well done, Rachel. Well done. Well done. Well done, Rachel. Your amazing work demonstrates exceptional dedication and skill in ensuring the safety of the UK's airspace.
For sure. And now our third award of the evening, the Women's Engineering Society Prize, or more familiarly, the WETS Prize. So the prize is in recognition of women in engineering and the work the Women in Engineering Society has done for over 100 years. The prize is awarded to an outstanding young woman engineer who is engaging and inspiring young people's involvement in STEM subjects.
An amazing award for an amazing woman. Let's see who it is.
I'll see you the envelope.
Thank you. It's not.
Told you I was nervous.
It's not coming up.
Really?
The winner of the WES Prize is Amy Dillon.
Congratulations. There you go. Sign to the middle. You're welcome. Ready to do your speech?
Congratulations, Amy. What an incredible work you're doing, delivering safe and high-impact infrastructure while inspiring the next generation of engineers. Now it's time.
Oh, I'm so excited. So, the moment we have all been waiting for.
The final award of the night.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
I'm nervous. This award celebrates an exceptional woman, a pioneer, a leader, and an inspiration to us all. So, the stage is set, the anticipation is high,
super
palms
high.
are sweaty.
I can't wait. Let's see who it is.
Oh, this one's heavier.
There
we go.
I've got it.
Got it? There we go. Okay, so the Young Woman Engineer of the Year Award for 2025 goes to I feel like I need a drum roll. Thank you. Goes to Jennifer Barry. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes, all yours.
Come. Thank you for speech.
All yours.
Well, I'm really honoured and a little overwhelmed to be up here, especially being amongst such amazing finalists. You guys are all amazing. I've done such a good job this year. It's lovely to meet you all. If everyone will indulge me, I would just like to say a few thank yous. Firstly, to my friends, families, colleagues, especially my parents who never believed in boys' toys and girls' toys growing up and always encouraged me just to try my best, knowing it was good enough. And to my amazing husband, who since we met has been my biggest cheerleader, my greatest support. I wouldn't be here without you. Secondly, thank you to the IET for all your hard work and for all organisations and companies working to promote underrepresented groups in STEM. We live in a world where, sadly, diversity, equality and inclusion is a phrase that's negatively perceived by some. But it's because of the important work that these organisations are doing that little girls who have no idea what they want to be when they grow up can dare to dream and come into the industry. And finally, I think it'd be remiss of me not to thank the female trailblazers that have come before, be they living or past. I really wouldn't be here without the bravery of others who have forged a path before me. And engineering works best when we all work together. And I think ultimately it's together that we're able to rise to the stars. So thank you so much. I'm really honoured. Thank you.
Oh. Congratulations, Jennifer. Oh, those speeches always get me a little bit. So, your outstanding work ensures the UK remains a trusted, forward-looking partner in safe, sustainable, and I can't even get the words out now. I told you I was going to be a bit emotional. Technically rigorous space missions.
Got it all?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm all right.
I know that we never really want to come towards the end of the night because it's such an exciting night, but that just about brings us to towards the close of today's ceremony.
But don't worry, because the party definitely does not stop here.
No, it doesn't. We would like to invite you all to join us in the Riverside Room, where there is some sensational food, drinks, and a chance to meet our amazing sponsors.
Speaking of which, let's give a huge round of applause to our sponsors. Without their support, events and campaigns like this simply are not possible. Their commitment to this cause inspires us to keep putting it on an event that celebrates such incredible talent year after year after year after almost 50 years,
almost
in fact.
50 years. That's
so thank you very, very much to our sponsors.
And finally, a massive congratulations to all of our winners tonight and the finalists. You are truly inspirational, and we know you'll continue to make a difference in our world of engineering and beyond. Well done. Thank you.
So I am actually going to go slightly off script here, sorry. And I just want to add a couple of extra thank yous to the entire IET team and the IET YWE team who have pulled all of this event together. It takes a lot of hours, a lot of work. Thank you to Rachel, our BSL interpreter, who's now going to have to thank herself. But thank you very much. And that is it. So thank you all as well for being part of such a fantastic evening, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Indeed.
Have a good one.
Thank you.